Good evening, fellow degenerates. Mickey D here for Cold Beer Sports. Just gone 4:30 on Tuesday evening with a few selections for tomorrow. Um, we have a horse run at 5 o'clock. It's not that time yet, so windy and wet out there. It was not too bad. It wasn't as bad as they were saying, but anyway. Um, First one tomorrow is on the 150 at Hexham. An interesting horse. Is Without Conviction. It's a 6-year-old trained by Lucinda Russell. It's a second run in a handicap chase and it's rated 97. It was second in a pint to pint in 2020 in Ireland. 2 bumper runs. It was third of 10 and third of 11. Then it had 3 runs over hurdles. Its best was in a Kelso novice hurl. It was 2 lengths behind the 8 to 11 favourite that day, present and counting. And that's rated 147 now as a chaser. I'm not saying that this is going to be near as good, but it just shows you that when it did go over that distance, 2 miles too, that was his only trip over 2 miles. Its first run over fences was at Hexham over an inadequate 2 miles. It stayed on really strong from the last. It's up 4 furlongs for tomorrow's race. I think it is a very good shot. It's 5-1. There is a sort of a springer lurking in there. It's a first time runner for Sandy Thompson. Shaka the King, very lightly raced, but I mean, on form, I can only go by. Lucinda Russell is pretty decent form. In the last 21 days, she had 36 runners, 7 wins, which is about 20% and 10 places. So I'm prepared to go 2 point win on that. And I know Shaka the King could be anything, but we'll have to go with what we know on forum. I had him marked out. In the 250 then, and Hexham as well, Attila de Civila, Brian Hughes riding for James Ewart. 2 miles in Hexham, heavy ground, holds no fears. It's a front runner. It's the first run after his wind operation. And I noticed a bigger trend this year that they're really doing well on the first run as opposed to the second run, which was last year. It's fun that I follow all the time. We got one last Friday there in Nicky Henderson's first run after the op. So this will go out in front. It made all in a bumper first time out in December 2017 and won a maiden hurl first time over timber. Hughes will get it out there in front tomorrow, and I can see this being right there. It's a 4-1 shot, another 2 point win. The 4:15 in Dundalk, there's a maiden there, Sunwalk for the Slatteries. It's rated 76 and it was rated 80 or slightly above. It has the form in the book to win this race over mile 3. It was 4th of 13 first time out in Dundalk about a year ago over a mile. It was 5th in April to the mile 2 maiden won by Wordsworth, that good horse of Aidan O'Brien's. It was back and tripped in twice to 7 furlongs, so that didn't suit. And then it was 4th of 14 in Leopardstown in August. So it's first run since. Slight worry would be, will he stay the trip? He's out of Vadamus. Vadamus, I think, only ran first time out in its life in France. It ran over a mile and a half. It was a better miler. I remember the time at that solo, the SOLOW. Remember that one, that French horse won in the Sussex, wasn't it? It was in that race. Or no, it ran against in France. And that was over a mile. But a slight doubt about that. But there's nothing to scare it away. It's 5-4 favourite. So a 3 point win on that. Hopefully it'll drift. And then the horse I've been watching and waiting out for, and we'll put him in as well. 3:45 at Dundalk. Harbonacker, Gavin Cromwell. His first 4 lifetime starts were in Dundalk, and he was 5th off 65 in Dundalk in January. It won a Leopardstown off 59 in August, I think it was, and it showed a good turn of foot. It was off 59 that day. His last run in Dundalk was in a 45-70. It was drawn 17, and it was 4th from the back on the turn for home. And it closed the ground really well in the stretch run, and it was 2nd. It's drawn 8 tomorrow. Gary Carroll still in the bike. It's the 45-65, so it's a lower class tomorrow. He's drawn 8. He's an 11-2 shot. I make him a pint each way. So That's 9 in total, and have a half a pint each way a cume on the 4 of them. They're fairly good, confident selections tomorrow if they run to what their ability is showing. So hopefully they will. Now, one last thing I'm going to ask you. You often heard Paddy saying like and subscribe, that it helps out the channel. I don't know how it does. He's into that. I'm not. I don't know how the liking works. But tomorrow he's burying his grandfather and his uncle. So I'm going to ask you all to be in solidarity with Paddy and the entire Merrigan family for the rough day they're going to have tomorrow. Could you all like the video tonight, please? And because they all watch it, Paddy's dad watches it all the time. He always leaves a comment, and it'll give them some comfort probably, possibly tomorrow. So thanks very much for the kind comments you left last night. Paddy is very appreciative for that. So Mickey D for Cold Beer Sports, over and out. Bash the bookies.